welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and get into these games. So we have the second batch from week 1 going live today. Going to be 3 Erangel games that we're getting together. I'm a little fuzzy seal, and today I am joined by T-Murph217. And yes, I do plan saying his entire name every single time I address him. How you doing, T-Murph217?
I'm doing great. I appreciate the full name usage, dude. I like to be recognized here.
Do you actually though?
I
Has there
do.
ever been any time where you've had a friend group that called you by T-Murph217 every single time?
Well, see, I changed my name based on the game that I play because I tailor it to whatever group I'm with. So generally not. Generally, I
Really?
just go by Murph. Um, but I like the T Murph 217 here. Back in the day when I played, that's what I went by. So I hope that the OG collegiate PUBG people recognize me.
Well, I'm a bit of a new boy myself, so sadly I have no idea what that means myself. But either way, so if this is y'all's first time watching the games, or if you're unsure exactly what's going on, this is Collegiate PUBG Week 1 with the Erangel set of games. So overall, this is going to be 6 weeks of PUBG, 42 games. It's going to be 6 games a week, and then the final week is going to be 12 games split among generally 3 games per night. This is going to be one of those 3 games per night, all going to be on Erangel. And looking at the scores, which can be seen on the GLL website, it's looking a lot like the team to look at right now is going to be Louisiana State, who's sitting in first place with a relatively sizable lead.
After a strong first 3 games on that map over there. Right, why can't I think of it?
That one desert one with all the
Yeah,
sand.
the sandy one.
Yeah, the sandy one.
Do it by what's the ground is. After a strong showing there, they've got a clear lead. They're in first overall in points between both lobbies. So definitely one of the teams to look at as we go through the season. I wouldn't count out Tennessee, though. There's definitely some veterans there who have the shots if they get the chance to hit them.
All right, let's go ahead and start talking about this game. The flight plan can be starting from the south side, heading towards the northwestern corner. Looks like we might even have a Zarky team as we have, oh god, Quavop?
Cool.
Quavop? Tichaba. What is going on here? Who are these guys and what are these names? Quavop and Tichabs up getting to the Zark area, but more importantly, we have oh my god, we have quite a few hot drops going on here with 3 teams inside Pachinki, 2 of them teasing the Watertown area. Let's go ahead and see what's going on inside Pachinki as every single group in this area all drop on the southern, like the southern half, I would say. Specifically, we have USC, South Carolina, Lil Penguin, and in the middle of this mess, but they're not the only one. Looks like we have 6 players here in this mess, each with their own building. The only question is who's going to be the one to pull the trigger first.
I think the South Carolina logo is actually on top of LSU, but this is LSU and Arizona State already hot dropping each other just feet away. This will be an interesting one to watch to see how it goes. Quick knock out of HDB, so that micro Uzi is lethal.
Great stuff there. It looks like Beast might even have the frag follow up here, and we'll be able to find It's Your Wi-Fi. Might not actually be the Wi-Fi that got him killed. We'll go and see what's going on elsewhere, as we do have Gerudin up on the high ground. Car9 already in hand. Looks like he might be going for some rooftops after his buddy gets an initial knock. He's wondering if someone's getting ready to push him. Now, sound is a little bit weird right now. Game has had some updates, some changes, and it's going to take some players to get ready. So if there's situations like that, like Garden just did, where he was like thinking, hey, am I getting pushed? He's not sure. It's just a precaution. But looking over here, looks like Mixter might have spotted out Garden on top of the house, and a nice spray later, he's able to take Garden down. That's a potential trade, but with some third-party potential coming in from the south already. In a very, very congested Pachinki, it's going to be very, very hard to actually confirm this is going to go through. But oh, look at this. Loosey Goosey trying to go for the confirm, but from the rear, HDB's taking him down with a barrel spray. Oh.
I was getting a little greedy there, knowing that the 2 teams were in the same quadrant there. This actually is Florida State right here, is sporting the Arizona State logo, and Louisiana State has the South Carolina.
We'll get
For a
these
little bit
logos
of confusion
fixed
there.
going into
But
the
we'll
next
see
game.
if HD can get in here and get that res off on Garden.
Yeah, it looks like Beast is going to be going up to do just that. Just making sure that Migster from across the road isn't going to be crossing. It looks like he will be safe to go for this res. But across the road, we do still have providing some cover fire here. Butter Me Nasty, who at the same time as he's kind of taking a couple of shots at the boys in blue from across Twiggy and Mixter. He's also doing a decent job at keeping, I'm not even sure if the name is right, so I almost don't want to say them. But I'm just going to say Vitamin T's in his team from pushing. And this is actually going to force them to, they're saying, all right, we're not really keen to be a part of this whole mess. So they're actually running across the entirety of the Pachinki fields here. Going to be finding more loot over here. And considering this isn't Pachinki, it's probably going to be in zone. Actually, it's not. It's relatively close to the southern side here. But they're going to want to make sure they get kitted up quick here to make sure they're ready for the mid game here. There's only one team that's even getting themselves set up for that, and that's McQuinty and his team.
Yeah, it looks like Cincinnati there is already moving into some strong compounds there, especially considering Circles will end up moving off the water here. They've got a solid split right now of two very viable compounds.
Oh, actually, so we're playing on New Erangel right now, and I've been doing a lot of events on New Erangel. Land ratio is not a thing on New Erangel. The setting's on, but it doesn't even know how to deal with it. So we're actually, if people have been practicing for this kind of thing, which in some ways I hope not, Phase 4 and 8, it's still going to have potentially some water in it. It doesn't actually have to follow that at all anymore, and as a result, zones can get really weird. And we'll see what ends up happening here. It means that a lot of times for solo, then sitting near riverbeds isn't the worst thing in the world. It means that you can hide for a lot longer, but it also means that for all of those teams that are losing players early and end up saying like, okay, just send someone to the water, just send someone to the riverbed, that makes it even easier in my eyes for a very, very strong team that still has 4 people up to take a dominant position.
Oh, for sure. That's just more of the battle royale of it. And guard, press F in the chat, please. Pay
just
respect
like
to this man. Run him back over.
Gotta go back and finish him off. No one presses F in my dossier. So anxiety bites is going to take some shots, but it isn't going to be at that small bit of self damage. It is like going to be at the other team that was inside Pachinki, as they're going to be trying to rotate away on foot. Looks like Twiggy almost taken down here. Looks like he will be able to jump down over this ridgeline onto the northern edge of the zone, and they're going to start to find a couple of vehicles here and there, a bike, a 2-seater specifically, that'll be able to keep. Well, there's only 2 of them alive, so isn't that convenient? They'll be able to take
right
this
there for the 2 of them was just a gift from the heavens to give them the chance to get north of that river.
This was their plan all along. They were just like, they didn't want to figure out who was going to get left behind, so they're just like, all right, Twiggy's just like, all right, you just go for that push. Yeah, you can do it. I believe in you.
Something like that.
And they're going to be heading on northward to go find a spot in zone. But wait, what's this? We have a crash going on inside center zone here. It looks like Cal McQuinty. Once again, I don't want to say these school names. I'm not sure if they're right now. But he was holding this building on his own. If they're getting centralized, we're seeing right now there actually is a significant reaction from the split, as we have Paradox and Gideon coming on by. Now the problem that I'm seeing right here is that Gideon, he's a magician, a planeswalker. I'm not really sure if he's ready to fire a gun. He's usually off like playing magic cards. So we'll see if Gideon Jur is ready to land some shots here with the SKS. There only is a 3-man inside of this building, so he's 1 player and putting some shots out already. Jur not quite able to get some shots there, and I'm a little bit worried about this because if you're gonna be the first one firing, you really either need to make sure you're getting that knock, or you need to make sure that you have teams that are ready to help you get help you with the ambush. So after those shots not going on by, him and Paradox saying, all right, we're not getting the knock. Didn't set the team shot. We got to go find somewhere else to go. And they're actually going to be even leaving their old compound that I think there's still even a vehicle crash on it, and going even further eastward, maybe lining up with True. But as they see more folks rotating on by to the northeast past them, I think they're going to be questioning where is even open to go at this point.
Quick big note for kill feed, actually. Florida State was able to pick 2 LSU players out of cars, and so 2 LSU members are down. It's 2 left from Florida State and Louisiana, 2 of the top 3
How are
teams
they not getting punished
from last week.
Look at this. Oh god, True's actually pulling up in the middle of a corner. This will be an absolute miracle if he gets out of this one. Still hasn't died yet. Buggy's still looking okay too. We actually have Paradox pulling up some cover fire. He's gonna be sending a few players back inside their homes. We'll be losing the wheels from his UAZ. Tries to get back in there before he gets completely immobilized. It looks like not quite able to do the usual quick 180 turns he's used to, so he's just going all in on the hold the S button, hold the reverse, and just get out of dodge.
So that is a new team right there in that compound. Indiana University right there. Top frag right there is J-Nop. The dude can hit some shots for sure. He was actually my partner in the Wingman tournament in GLL. Good times. We made it to the final 64 teams.
Ooh.
But it's fun to see J-Nop here and new teams showing up in the league. Just some new talent to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, I'm hoping that in the TTV clan that Gobble Gobble is able to keep up.
I think he can hold the name. I believe it.
Oh, with a name like that, you have to. All right, here we go. Phase 2. Oh my god, we actually didn't see this when it popped, but still about 2/3 of the zone land, 1/3 being water. We already have a few teams claiming sovereignty. Now, the problem with getting into cities early is that it's one of those kinds of things where it's really, really easy to enter and very, very hard to leave. At the very least, they have taken the north side, trying to punish any teams going along the coast that end up rotating through that area. But if there's any team that hard crashes into, I would say up to like 3 or 4 corners of Sev that they're not holding, this is like, all right, it just got a little bit harder to leave this town. Speaking of difficult to leave, we might have a potential crash going on here as Ain gonna be going on by. Already online, so at least not getting crashed after Plois almost got crashed. No, we actually do have original loser. I was able to get to this building, trying to find shots into Storm. Can't quite find that window peak, just a little bit too tight. Original loser, not the right angle. He does have 2 frags he could use. Trying to get the scar shot, the body to head, but not quite enough to take him down. And with the original loser's teammates coming on in, we now have a full-on building crash on our hands.
Love to see this. Love close quarters combat at this point in the game. The west side of the circle was so open, so they're just trying to keep their territory carved out here in the buildings that they have.
Jumps. Oh, he's actually using the mutant on burst fire. I meant from a nice frag from Plois, taking down original loser. And it looks like Plois going on, getting close and close with the barrel, going for the flush, does not get punished off to the left side. I believe I heard a M24 shot ring out there. Vitamin T's. Now M4 already has the right gun prepared, but isn't quite able to make a stand. He's gonna get taken down, and the only player from that team that is left alive at this point is gonna be Ain 831, who he doesn't even have a place to go. You see this combo to the north, it's occupied as well, and he's not gonna be able to shoot his way out of this with an iron sight scar.
I don't think he knows anyone's here either, so he's just trying to make his way down and just leading himself to a different trap.
Oh man, but maybe he can shoot his way through this. This might be a, oh, he had a line of sight on Nomad. Nomad definitely saw him. I don't think that Ain saw him. Look, he's still like looking around. He might, oh, he hears the footsteps. He sees the car. And now he's gonna be peeking on. He sees Nomad, lines up his nice spray, but isn't quite gonna line up correctly. And now Ain's gotta ask himself, can he win the 1v3?
I mean, it looks like this is the play he still wants to make, but I don't know if he can run off anywhere safe at this point.
1 second, I'm making sure that
Oh, and quickly flushed right there.
I think that his
shots down the wall.
were shot down there. Oh no, the floating tracers show where the where the shots came from there. And now it's phase 2 almost popping. Oh, we have another crash inside of Sev, and it looks like the Fluffy Whale taking down Gideon Jura. I think he actually came in this as scout. Hey, look around, his team is nowhere nearby. We have a buggy driving by the north. They're taking some fire here, but some great driving from Reedster. Well, at least so far, is keeping him on the low ground, but getting shots on him from the west and being contested from the south is going to get very, very hard for Reedster to actually move out from this location.
Tennessee coming down the beach, trying to provide help for their one teammate who crashed. There's a team in the city there, and looking down the beach from further down on that hill, getting shot from the EF team over there.
They're providing some fire for themselves, trying to get out of here, but these smokes going into the ocean. Look, those aren't actually dissipating properly, so that's not going to be too useful. We actually have, wait, a boat. Oh, a boat going to provide some, well, could have provided some cover, but it's actually going to go way too far there. And that actually might be the nail in the coffin for this team here, as you see Ryzer trying to crawl out of here. I think that Paradox has spotted them at this point there.
His ridge cover is so small. He's just laying behind that boat now, looking for a knock into the city. Cincinnati here, last 2, try to hold off the edge of the city.
doing a decent job so far. True trying to find the truest car 9 shot of them all. And that prone might be able to take him down as, yeah, he wasn't even covered from the other angle there. So that's going to be Captivate getting finished off there almost any second, I would say. And they're going to be redirecting their attention to greener pastures, making sure no one comes by with the res, or maybe even trying to get the kill steal.
Oh, and I think he missed the other teammate going down the beach. Wow, this would be one of the most aggressive reses I've ever seen.
Oh my god. Look, he's making his way down. No gun in hand. He's just saying, alright, if this works, it works. If it doesn't, I'm gonna die for it. Being six and fire. And after he realized the situation that Captivate was in, he said, oh, there's actually no cover here. I'm actually going to die if I go through with this. He's gonna be rolling on back down. And I'm looking at this buggy. You know, it's a little smoky. It's missing a wheel. But this buggy might be the only way that Reedster gets out of here. And he's going to be getting inside of it, driving on down to the low ground, and there's only 2 players left inside of Severity to stop this from happening. It's actually relatively easy, as long as he doesn't hit his teammate to get out of here.
I think it looks like he was just trying to move down the beach further, find a new spot with something, but there's not a whole lot of cover on this beach here, especially with all these teams that have posted up towards the water side.
Oh man, Fluffy Will doing his best to hang on. He blew up his vehicle earlier, and it looks like after losing a few players inside Sev and his buddies just trying to find the correct spot to wiggle around there under the water, it's looking a lot like the Fluffy Whale and his team is going to be sitting here for as long as they can before they're forced out by the zone. Speaking of the zone, though, with 12 teams up and 34 live going into Phase 4, I'm wondering where we're going to end up going. Because right now, there's a couple of strong points I'm seeing that are in relatively centralized spots, but there's a lot of teams as well that are on the edge that are going to be hurt by this. And even the edge teams that we see are going to have some trouble here. This little compound here from Kuvap and the Zarki team, not usable anymore. And especially the eastern and southeastern teams will need to find a way in. And this eastern edge here, there's not really many hard points to play. And the one that is there, already taken by Pulsify and his team.
The second shift did go hard to the right, as did a lot of the teams. Now it's centered back over Severny. You're going to have to see a lot of teams coming back. I'd expect to see some city crashes coming out here. I expect to see just hard movement right here soon.
Maybe a crash coming out here. Nomad's going to be going in full sending, and he's trying to get a roadkill. He jumps out of the dossier, almost got a knock, but it's not going to work out. The rest of his team, though, does try to pull up with, actually, I think it's only Ox Johns at this point. As we have Kenboy continue onward. So many cars are going by, but John trying to get some shots here. Oh, look at that! Block had no idea he was there. After getting the flush, he will get taken down. And at this point, Cold Boy and Twitchy are wondering what in the world is going on. There's another player coming on in. He tries to get the run over. He will after his death. Doesn't he Pulsify going down? I think at this point, there's only Cold Boy and Twitchy left alive with Pulsify bleeding out, trying to find the right time to get the res anytime is good there. And now Twiggy is just left with cars and smoke and bodies everywhere, wondering what in the world just happened. There is still, though, more teams getting their way inside of Severny, with Call Me Duck and his squad in the west alone, but the east looking like a full-on rainbow of color, with True, the first one here getting taken up by Webbington, as it looks like this full-on 4-man team has decided to oust the other players from Pachinki.
It looks like there's only one from the original grouping that was in Severny and left there. Paradox was the last one of the 2 teams that had originally settled there. There's a few more around now, but it's crazy to see the tight quarters that we're going to see right here.
Oh, the clicks of sadness. Can't quite get the full-on knock there. At the same time, the Webbington is controlling a very, very strong spot here. Good eyes to the west and the east. That being said, it's going to take a very, very ballsy team to actually leave their strong points in Phase 4 to take a fight within the city. It's just so easy to get third-party, and they already have such a strong spot on their own. They don't really need to do anything that, that would potentially hurt their odds. Meanwhile, west side, we've had another team, Twiggy and Migster, show up here on the west side. And they're going to be contesting Prodigal Knight and his team, as the Western Edge team looks like that they have just crept in and taken this hill. That's going to be T-Chabs and Kvop and Coca-Cola 13.
Yeah, it looks like they were able to move in and get this hill. There's not a lot after this towards the push to Serenity, especially considering we've got 2 teams set up right on the edge of town right there.
Yeah.
We see Florida State and MTSU and Mississippi State set up there right on the edge of town. It's going to be very tough to see any movement across this field as the time comes.
Looking around, we at the edge team, so we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams inside Sev, which leaves the maybe only 6, which leaves the remaining 4 outside of the town. Now, in this next phase, still keeping some water in play and still keeping the eastern side in play, but it looks like a lot of very accurate fire on one of our edge teams is even going to potentially take Cold Boy down, who saw the crate and got a little bit of loot lust and might actually get taken out completely. Pulsify almost finishing the job there, throwing a frag instead of a smoke. Is Cold Boy even going to get out of this one alive? I think he might have been able to crawl over this ridge. No, it's actually just concealment that's in the way. There's little tree branches. But I think at the same time, with the smoke going out, Pulsify should be able to barely clutch this res, with Cold Boy having at least 1 or 2 HP left.
We did see Gobble Gobble and Indiana there hit a few great shots from Sev, but it looks like a lot of the right side of the city looks open. I think the circle's going to end somewhere around, maybe even near where HD Beast is holding up.
That's what I'm thinking.
And has been crashed into this shack right now.
So this little ridge line as we go later in this game is going to be very, very important. That's going to be probably what we see Twidgy and his team moving toward, if not one of the other like outskirt teams. Meanwhile, the rest of the Sev is going to continue to sit down as, oh, yep, the Western team was able to find themselves the barn to call home. And at this point, the only question is, if you're not inside of the town, what are you going to do? The answer to that question, probably die.
Cajun Ricky Bobby here from ULL making his run across the field. Doesn't look like he's been spotted yet. Or
oh no, he's definitely,
there it is.
He's
There's
in trouble.
Shots coming. He's going to have a tough run here coming up ahead of him.
He's got 5 smokes though, and he just found a 3 vest. More than enough meds as well, so if he can get to maybe this little Hesco that is making the shack a little bit less destructible, he could survive a little bit longer. That being said, this is a very, very long run. And I think that this is actually a buff, just hard peeking him. Yeah, this is going to take a really, really nice hit of smokes for Cage and Ricky Bobby to get this one alive.
We do see some smoke, but I just don't know if it's enough to even get him close enough to the city. It's still a long run to go, and only 5 smokes to throw.
Alright, well, let's see how good this is going to be. He's already chucked a few of them. I think he found another one. If he can get to that UAZ, that's also an option as well. But with the zone coming at his back, this is phase 5 because I think we're looking at like 3 or 5 damage per second from this particular blue. So if Cajun isn't ready for this, he's going to be taken down. And his smoke routing too, look, like he can't go anywhere from these smokes. If they were sent a little bit further to the right, he could maybe go make a play for the UAZ and the Hesco. But out here, this is just dust and grass, man.
This is a bold play, though. It's like playing Minesweeper on hard difficulty.
Is there something beyond hard mode? Because I think that's what he's playing on the smoke in front of him. He has the smoke in front of him. Phase 6 is going to pop. He takes a couple of shots from the entirety of this barn team. He's going to be finished off. Meanwhile, phase 6 will be popping. We do some shots continuing to be exchanged on the north side. But for the most part, we have our eastern team that is not going to be forced in play here, and our westernmost team that'll have to probably push the compound of off to their east here. They're still playing a little bit. Well, Twiggy is playing stealthily, but Migster, well, actually he's playing stealthy as well. I thought the M24 shot was his. So Migster and Twiggy playing very, very stealthy. This might actually get them into this next zone, but at some point, I'm worrying that they might have to cross this road, and this is, in my opinion, going to be where a lot of people die when this road is forced to cross one or the other.
Yes, all these roads around the city become big, just shooting galleries as people try to run across them. When there's this many people this close, it's almost impossible to cross a road, smokes or not.
All right, let's check this out. It looks like that they're making their move right now. Mixer and Twiggy starting to sneak in. They don't have any suppressors, so if they fire, then they're going to instantly be known. They're actually going to get spotted here. Mixter getting shot in the back, quickly rushing behind the building, repositioning around to the north. They might be splitting up to like sort of cut their losses. One guy goes south, one guy goes north. And it looks like Mixer actually with a very, very nice repositioning is trying to now smoke his way in. But I think that they might have seen those grenades. They're actually fragging the car lot in front of him. You're getting hit by maybe a frag, but definitely a couple of shots. He's going to be forced into cover behind this defunct car. A lot of pressure coming out, but after getting that first aid, the smoke dissipating, he will be able to rush all the way over this wall. Big victory here for Mixter.
Wow, he was stealthily able to make his way, and Twiggy just held the whole time. I don't know if they've lost the spot on him yet. I guess we'll have to see as it moves.
Oh, can he cross this road? Oh, Paradox is watching this. Now he's found himself a nice little shed to call home as he makes his way on the southeast. But meanwhile, on the northwest, rather, on the southeast side, though, we do have JK Nop here on the southeast side, gatekeeping Twiggy. I was saying before that there was a very, very strong ridge line that our exterior, our non-sovereign team could have taken, but I don't think they actually made it there. JK Nop and the rest of his team able to spot them out, and it looks like with his with Cold Boy's hand being seen from behind the tree, we didn't even get flushed out as HDBs at this point. I'm fighting Twiggy. Gatekeeping doing a great job as a solo player, taking him down. Plus one play went to the north, and oh, the car exploding. A couple of M249 shots, all it took as he is forced back inside the shed. Cold Boy kind of forced a hard peek in that direction. No teammates, no meds. He's in a very, very hard spot at this point.
This is going to be two solo boys fighting for that ridge we mentioned earlier, and whoever gets it could have a solid impact as the game moves.
It's not in play.
Oh, this next circle does take it out of play. Just the edge of it is out. This is going to be a city ending. This is exciting.
This is going to be real rough for the teams that are already outside Sev. HDB sees going out for the blue, right around the right side. Cold Boy still holding this direction, still waiting for him. But let's just go ahead and take a peek at what's going on inside the city. So west side of the road, mostly out of play. Mixter taken down by Paradox, but finished off by Kvop.
That was a really good steal all the way down from Barn. He was able to steal that kill. Despite getting punished on the cross right there.
And this barn is actually still in play as well. And look at that, Cold Boy getting taken down. HDB, the quote-unquote winner of the non-Sev teams. Still a little bit worried about how he's going to do. By the way, apologies to the disqualifications. I'll be able to fix those going into game too, as well as the logos. Still, though, JT&T, him and his squad, one of the teams that are being forced out of the zone here going into phase 7. It's looking a lot like Paradox has these guys' number as he finds the knock under Call Me Duck. So they're going to be holding this angle, repositioning around this building, making sure that he's hard to spot. And with 3 frags and 3 Molotovs, he's going to be doing his damnedest to secure every single down that comes his way.
Just to keep all the space he can here. He's been a solo boy holding this corner for a while, and as the circles just continually gifted him, he now has the road to get to hold against everyone trying to cross from that east side of the west side of the city.
Oh, you know what? This wall is technically still in play. It's definitely not optimal, but cover is cover at this point. And if they can all get set up, you know, pool their smoke grenades together, which, oh god, they don't carry smokes. Okay. Prodigal Knight luckily did bring his 4 smokes. This is gonna be the playmaker as they go into phase 8. They're gonna potentially be able to use these across in the church, which right now, no one's in it. And that's looking like it might be the center of phase 8.
Never seen a church or this close to a city this late competitive, and it's very cool to see. If we had to give an edge to one team right now, I'd give it to Indiana holding that south side. However, they do have that lurker in HDBs right there behind them. He was able to make it in.
The zone is also shifted to the church as well. So this south side, there's only a few buildings left. This is phase 8. When phase 9 pops, it's going to shift to exactly the center. And around this little shelf, that's like center zone. So if anyone can get to the church first, that is going to be a beautiful spot to get to.
Throw some prayers up, boys. Prayers in the chat.
Oh. Making their first move, it's going to be T-Chabs here on the southwest side coming in from the barn. HGB was able to make it there. He's actually trying to stop this with a solo, being the 4th member, essentially, of JK Knob as he takes them down on the crossing. Quap and Coca-Cola are still alive here on the west side in the barn. They didn't quite make the crossing. Coca-Cola is still with 4 smoke grenades, and when there's smoke, there is a chance maybe they can make a play. They even have a couple of UAZs they can use here, but they're instead deciding to go on foot. I'm not even sure it's the right play as we see a ragdoll from Quap. He didn't even see that coming as the zone starting to force all of our teams. A similar smoke play being used by JT&T as they're the crossing here. Paradox holding this angle, does find one knock, but no, he's running into the blue. He's gonna get downed. And a down when you're the last player alive will take your team out of the game. Trying to find time for a first aid.
Is he able to get it off here with the blue
Barely.
creeping? He does. He has to run out and re-enter the circle.
Oh man, I think this building is going to be in play. This 2-story. Getting a frag ready. He does know players are inside the frag. Being armed, Prodigal, and the wrong side of it. Doesn't get taken down. Because he was at 100 HP.
There. I can't believe they kept him up. But JT gets re-knocked there. He's going to be bleeding much quicker this time.
Meanwhile, Call Me Duck holding the angle, making sure no one rushes in through that window. And now Paradox making sure that not he does. Oh no, a Molotov going inside of the bathroom. Prodigal Knight. Figure out what happens if you are on the wrong side of a Molotov. That being said, Molotovs are bad. So he's actually going to be able to just walk away from that one. Still though, more frags where that came from, says Prodigal. And as you can see, he's ducking him on in. He's actually going to be able to find Call Me Duck. I don't even know where that frag landed.
I think he threw it upstairs and Duck just happened to run into it.
Alright, meanwhile though, we have phase 9. I can't even see what's going on from the mini-map here. So just looking around, we do have JK Knopf, who was able to take control of the church initially. We'll see if they can actually take control of it. A lot of gatekeeping going on the edges though, as Plois spotting out Rubik's Cube. We still have HD Beast alive on the southern edge, by the way. Plois spotting out, trying to find some shots with this 3x odds. One more is going to do it. He will be able to take it down in 5th place, but definitely a lot more than anyone thought he was going to get, probably even himself. Still though, that spot on the outside, very, very fraggable, and some will be set their way. Overrated, very, very lucky to not be hit by those, but we still do have some spray downs, saying even if my frags don't hit, we still have a gun, by the way, but a nice shot from Plois, landing on the head of Tate.
Shots out of P. Lewis right now. He's got 5 kills right now. Great game coming out of Charlotte right here, fighting their way into the church.
Oh.
Trying to take down J-Nop and their team.
Number 6.
As they go.
Oh my god.
Let's do it, P. Lewis. I see you.
He's doing a great job so far, and off to the side. Overhead jumps, blowing the hell off of Webbington, and those windows, the rails in front of them, are not easy to shoot through. At this point, it's looking a lot like we have our 2 church teams, and then there's, well, a solo here, Paradox, who's trying to sneak his way in. Oh, and then we have Iconic Bert. Not able to get the res of their teammate, although Gibberish able to get the shots there after he gets ambushed. Zone pushing ever closer. Humongous smoke cloud is player. P. Lewis able to get into the church, but in the smoke cloud, at the moment, making Toxic not able to spot Lewis. Although as overrated right from the left side, they make it spot here. The zone pushing the church teams out. Lewis finding one. But he's spotted there.
With a great knock onto P. Lewis.
He did lose his team in the process, so he's going to be going into this as a solo. Zone at his back, barrel on his front. Spotting out one player in the smoke, but Iconic Bert playing from outside the wall is going to be able to take him down. And despite not being in the church, they will be able to mop up the mess after all the teams that were in the church finished fighting over it. Great plays there from Gibberish, Iconic Bert, Webbington, and Cakesterman.
That was just city madness right there. And we see 2 huge frag plays out of J-Nop here and P. Lewis. That's Charlotte and Indiana right there, coming up hugely big. After disappointing performances in the first 3 games. 8 kills out of each of them is just absolutely wild in these games. And that's what happens when Florida State and LSU end up on top of each other in the beginning and both lose half their team and are left to play as duos or singles, trying to snake their way through the city and into the city.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to be taking a quick break to get some of these technical issues sorted out. When we come back, we're going to be going to Game 2, back onto Erangel. I will see you then. right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back going into game 2. Every single one of those technical bugs have been squashed. I haven't even seen if the logos work. I don't know if Discord notifications are turned off, but I think that I fixed them. And if I say it with confidence, then I know it's true. I am a Little Fuzzy Seal, joined once again by TMurph217. I did it again. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Gotta leave those Discord notifications on so that everyone feels like they're getting the attention that we want to give them.
If you heard a Discord notification, then go ahead and send it to my P.O. box. I will send you a real message from the real Little Fuzzy Seal so you can get a real blip for yourself. All right, so game 1, pretty crazy. And actually, what we were talking about before, something that came up while we were talking in like phase 1 and 2, was that land ratio isn't a thing anymore. And that actually ended up impacting that last zone. We saw, as we were going in, phase 3 and 4, a lot of teams heading up to that Sev area, and phase 4 still had a lot of water in play, and that actually ended up resulting in the zone hugging towards Severny for the rest of the game. If there was land ratio on, phase 4 shifts Severny further toward the northern edge, and then we don't have a city ending, but because there was so much water in play, and the zone didn't care about it, map was just like, all right, just keep that water and keep that city in. Let's just keep on going and going. And then we ended up having like a 6 or 7 team ending there as we were going into phase 7.
That does hugely change the game here when we see circles like that. Usually when you used to play Severny, you had to play on the south side of the city because that was the only side of the city that would carry any of it going into later game. Just because the circle would shift off the water and you wanted to stay in a building for as long as possible. Now, it does give you the open field to shoot at. However, with the changed land ratio or lacking thereof, it did lead to a city circle right there that ended on the church. Like you said, that shelf was just about the final place for the finish right there. And we did see a good shootout with J-Knob trying to give him the bullet tornado going around.
The shelf of collegiate esports. Well, where's this on? Let's get a beautiful shot here. Let's get a glamour shot. All right.
Oh, that's some top shelf esports. If you know
that's real rust on it right there. All right, so let's go ahead and check out this flight plan. It's going from the southwest to the northeast here, hugging the Primorsk area. It is going to be a relative long drop to Yaz, but what I'm really curious here is whether or not Pachinki is going to be hot dropped as aggressively as it was in game 1. So this is the first Erangel games that these teams are playing. I believe they did a few scrims before, but there's a very, very big difference between scrims in the way that you play in them and, well, the league itself. And these guys definitely will not be pulling their punches. That being said, no one wants to be in a 3-way hot drop on Pachinki. Literally no one. That is almost every single team's worst nightmare. So I'm wondering who is going to be left to grab it, and it is going to be HD Beast, Little Penguin, the rest of their boys. Now, Murph, are these logos correct?
This does look like it's correct. Oh. This is LSU right here with Buttermy Nasty, HD, Garden, and Lil Penguin. Strong squad to watch for here if they can carry all 4 out of the city, which they will be able to do this time.
I'm personally impartial to Lil Penguin.
I've actually watched him stream a few times. He's quite a good streamer as well as a good player. It's fun to watch him. He's very interactive with his chats.
He just has Little in his name.
Little shouts out there.
I'm just very biased. Anyway, wait, hold on. While we're memeing, there's a crapshoot going on here on the outskirts of Pachinki. As all the teams that didn't get to go in Pachinki said, hey, maybe there's a few vehicle spawns outside of it. And about 8 people had the same idea. 2 of them being Rubik's Cubes and Gobble Gob. But Gideon Jura, who... Oh, he's AFK. Oh, he crashed. He's not there right now. Okay. Well, he's just gonna be wiggling on out of here. But Rubik's Cube and Gobble Gobble are gonna be making a much quicker retreat away from this area. Still though, phase 1 esports settings, and they're gonna be having a huge issue getting 0 loot and 0 vehicles. But also to the south of that, we're having another hot drop situation. As it looks like Nomad was able to get 2 free kills, and actually looking around, I don't think these guys even had anything.
I think they were part of the grouping there that was diving for cars, but they weren't the lucky few that got one. Yeah. And he was able to get the bike, get a gun, and guns get kills.
Yeah, and that's a nice spot there for Nomad saying, all right, I wasn't part of the situation. I was going for loot, but if you're going to deliver some kills and a free bike, I won't say no. But yeah, very, very messy early game. And that is going to resound going later in this game because Indiana University, after that, they're going to be going into like the movement of phase 1 with half their team only looting like sheds and lean-tos. This is a horrible start for them. But the only small bit of hope for this team is that they're in the zone in phase 1. So they don't have a huge amount to run. Their only focus right now should be making sure they can get as much loot as possible going into phase 2.
They actually already had a drop on their shed. Esports loots will give them a little tiny something, but definitely not enough to sustain them through the game here. And they're still lacking vehicles.
A Bison. Oh, you shouldn't have. And that's gonna be better than, what was he holding? Like a smoke grenade? Yeah, his handy dandy smoke grenade that is making him feel a little bit less alone at night as he's as he had a horrible start in this game. But oh, okay, yeah, that was just the crashed out Gideon Jura being taken out. And speaking of the teams that had a horrible start as well, oh my god. I was just going on about how like horrifying Indiana's start was, but Worcester, they went into the game with 3 because Gideon, crashed out. McQuinty and True are dead, and Paradox is running across an open field in phase 1 between 2 teams with a revolver and a cool hat.
To make it worse, he's running to a shed that was already hit by Indiana and their trash loot. And he's got nothing. What do you do at this point?
What do you do if the shed that you were pining your hopes on was looted? What do you even do at that point? Like,
I think you just right-click exit game.
Oh man.
Exit game.
Really worried about him. But meanwhile, Pachinki, we got Louisiana State getting themselves a couple of vehicles. They've looted the entirety of Pachinki. They're already rotating into the center of phase 1. Of all the teams that had initially dropped in Pachinki, the one that stayed there definitely feels like they got the best slice of the pie in this scenario.
Yes, they definitely were able to say, I am LSU, watch me take this. And they do make some of the quickest first circle rotations of any team in either lobby, so it's fun to watch them make this quick rotate through the field, see where they end up.
I mean, Pachinki definitely lets you do that. It's centralized. The loot density is very, very high. You know you're going to get at least 1 car spawn, sometimes 2, occasionally even 3. And the more of those you get, the better. And they're going to be using this this timing to reposition to the zone right away. And going up here to the river is, number 1, centralized, and number 2, as we just talked about, water ratio or land ratio isn't a thing anymore. So as long as you're in the middle of the zone, you're gonna be fine. And on top of all of that, I've noticed a weird thing that the zone does a lot, where it loves to keep like something to split the zone in half. Whether it be a river, a road, sometimes a hill, but usually a river or a road. So with the land ratio being off, and with this particular river being near the center in phase 1, I would not be surprised at all to see the zone just shift closer and closer and closer here to the Rumazok or somewhere else down this river.
You see Charlotte here pulling up on Volcano, taking looks down at Norwich firing squad. See if they choose to take any shots or move to one of those open compounds to their south.
Only going in there with 3, sadly. Their 4th could make it into this game. That's going to be a little bit rough, as if they're forced to take any fights. That being said, they're one of the first teams here, so rotating in early definitely makes a lot of sense, because this is saying, all right, we're a little underpowered, but we're hoping that the zone will do a lot of the hard work for us. Overrated, P. Lewis, and Storm crashing on in early to a relatively centralized compound. Now looking over here, back inside Rose, like it's looking a lot like Cajun Vlad, and the rest of Louisiana is not too happy with their town being crashed.
Ironically, 2 Louisiana squads squaring off here in LSU and ULL. See what happens here as they push up the hill towards Louisiana.
And I don't think that Little Penguin and the rest of Louisiana State have any idea of what's going to be going on here. We do have Buddy Be Nasty looting the warehouse, but he's going to realize what's going on a second too late as he gets shot in the back. Luckily, not going to be any downs happening there, but with those shots coming out, the ambush potential is now nil, and they didn't get a knock initially here either. So now, oh, I was going to say that LSU could just play defense, but I don't know if you want to do that with Tucky coming around here from the south, getting the headshot and the insta-flush there.
2 big headshots coming out there out of ULL. HTPs is already off the board in this fight, which is huge for LSU.
At this point, with Garudin alone on the 3-story, if he gets knocked, that's going to be lights out for him. And at this point, they're saying, okay, we need to respect this southern ridgeline now. But guess what? No one's there. All of that worry and all that utility you're spending to make sure that south ridgeline doesn't peek you, that's fake. That's not going to be an issue for you anymore. But at the same time, after getting the initial kill, they're saying, all right, we don't really want to make a push in phase 1. We got ourselves a kill. We're just going to back off now and see what phase 2 ends up providing for us. As they go later
Well,
on.
I think Smartly here knows taking that engagement might mean 4 kills for you, but I guarantee if you're pushing to an LSU stronghold, you're going to lose at least one person in this conflict. So smart of ULL to take their 1 and get the heck out of there.
Yeah, very, very scary team to try and contest there. Meanwhile, speaking of some scary-looking situations, we have UTK. His team has already rotated on out here. We see off to the east. They're trying to get inside zone. Assassin, though, looks like he's trying to make sure he can capitalize or finish off on this knock. If he crawls out, he's definitely going to take some shots. But that frag, though, actually deflected off the back of the bus and right onto original loser's body. And as soon as he gets that flush, he is out of here. So definitely some very, very ballsy play from the University of Tennessee, but one that got them a free kill point. And as we go into phase 2, they're going to be rotating on into zone as a hard shift to the north, back into 7. This is going to put almost every single team in the lobby on the back foot.
I just hope he yelled Kobe before he threw that nade, because that was a nade and a half.
Oh man, looks like Volcano was a little bit too big for everyone here as we have teams crashing on in. Major Blockage coming around the right side. The barrel jump shot actually works out. Webington getting finished off here any second, even going for the VM punches. In the meantime, though, Pulsify, as he tries to rush into the interior of the building, will get taken down here by Iconic Burt holding a very, very nice angle. Still be holding this window, but it looks like Twidgy able to take him down from the low ground here. And now Pulsify, after not getting flushed, he might even get rezzed, as it is looking like once the dust is settled, that it's just going to be Cakesterman from Norwich University Alpha alive here going into the end of this fight, backing up, trying to get this res off.
Please try to get the res while they res Pulsify down below, but it still does put them behind at a 2v4 situation. UC looking really strong on this push.
Oh man, and even in a 4v2, this kind of push can be really difficult, and they definitely realize that with how much time they gave them, this could be more than a 4v1 they're pushing in. So Coldboy not wanting to just throw his life away, as he really wants to push in here. Suppressing Iconic Burt, looks like he was able to blow these doors open. And Twidgy still playing that back window. Cakesterman stopping the push in its tracks. Coldboy not being online for the follow-up either, but he will be able to down Iconic Burt, leaving only Cakesterman alive. And now Coldboy, he's got teammates coming in. Cakesterman didn't want to be in that corner anymore. And I think that we figured out why. It's because the huge push was coming. Twidgy, Coldboy, and Pulsify doing some good work there.
That was a clean push by Cincinnati to only lose 1 and wipe an entire squad. That's 4 points right there. Looking good starting this game, but they still need to move north.
Yeah, a lot of teams do. It looks like that they're having some troubles doing just that with Call Me from MSU, having a little bit of trouble, but Duck able to get double with a frag grenade. Now Nop saying, I can't get these reses. He's going to be getting out of dodge right away, getting in that UAZ, making his way off to the east. And now Call Me Duck trying to get his teammates trying to get some shots onto the retreating JK Nop. But I'm a little bit worried about Duck himself, as we do have MSC coming by on the north side here.
Morningside looking over at that fight, but not really in a spot to do anything. Not getting the good looks yet. And Mississippi able to get the flushes and a kill down right there onto Doc.
Cutting out a little bit there, Murph. Hopefully it's not on my side. Nice knock there. Was able to take Doctor down, but some smokes should allow Dr. TikTok to get the res here. Are these guys all doctors? Is that their only 2 of them? And after another shot coming in from the side, he's realizing this smoke wasn't quite good enough. He's going to be getting back to his Dacia and going on out of here, trying to find a better spot to call home as you go into the phase 3 here. Speaking of which, looking at phase 3, it's looking relatively similar to game 1, although we're probably not going to be seeing Severny here in the end game. A little bit worried for TikTok, though, as he looks like he's going straight into another team. Stopping by
just pulled up on UTK here, seeing if they definitely heard the car, and there goes his.
Oh, thank goodness. getting stopped on the tree right there. He's going to be still looking to... He's actually looking for some kills here, I think. As he hears the shots in front of him, he's walking right into it, but the Fluffy Whale, does he see him? Yeah, he definitely does. Shots heading his way. Fluffy Whale, look at the car 9. One of them has TikTok's name on it. Alright, phase 3 has popped though, and a hard shift off to the southeast is going to put Butterby Nasty and the rest of Louisiana State dead center here. And with Lil Penguin and Co. coming on by, they're even able to get their vehicle behind the cover provided by the gas station. Could end up being a game-winning spot, this.
LSU with just such quick rotations. This is the second time they
love
rotated into Rozhok and then up to those scattered along the little dirt road there and now to the gas station. They've held center circle now 3 circles in a row off these hard shifts.
Uh-oh. A couple of teams looking like they might intersect on this rotate. Twitchy coming here on the right side. But wait, is Pennsatucky looking to get some shots? He is! They're trying to get some drive-bys. They're chasing these vehicles as Coldboy pulls up here. Louisiana Lafayette maybe wondering if this is not the play to go for. So bored from the rest of the team following the routing that was made. But oh, we've already got the shed being used in a great ambush from Kenboy, able to take both these players down. That's going to force Cajun, Ricky, Bobby, and the rest of ULL away from this. Although for the frags, oh my god, the frag actually friendly fired Nomad Roth as he was driving on by trying to get the road kills. Almost was killed by it as well.
Having a 4 hell here, but luckily I think he is out of sight from UC right this second.
Yeah, he is going to be able to get to cover, make sure he doesn't get knocked for free after almost getting taken on by his teammate. And off to the east, we got So Bored, the rest of ULL, able to find themselves a small home at the shack on the east. Meanwhile, on the west, it's looking like we have a pretty big issue coming, as we have West Texas trying to shoot their way in, well, on the west side of the zone, so definitely living true to their name, but taking fire from both their northeast and their southeastern flanks. The two-dimensional cover provided by these trees, not going to be enough, and it looks like T-Chabs here off to the southeast going to be punishing them, probably going to get the flood onto A any second now.
Nice seeing the top of the hill here is just so open that you almost have to pick a side or move in at least a little bit, and they're getting stuck here out in the open and getting shot at from multiple teams here.
Yeah, some slightly delayed smokes will be pushed on to Ain, and now Anxiety Bike's making the run. They need to do this right now, although as he crawls out of the smoke, okay, he will be able to barely be covered here on the on the northeast side. Excuse me, boys in blue off to the east and not be able to get those kills. But on the southwest as well, we have oh, you can't get this res actually. 3 DPS I think is enough to kill a player before they get meds off. I'm not sure if BGC can get this.
I guess we'll see, man. But it looks like he's going for the aggressive right. Oh no, I think he just went back to get materials.
Well, he definitely didn't come back for the double-barreled shotgun. That was an accident there. But look at this. I think that Quap is... Yeah, he's not even going to get the res. That DPS in the blue a little too strong. And I'm actually worried about... yeah, he's actually going to... Darth Vader's going to die as a response as well. Oh my god, no. Barely alive there. Calculated for sure. Now has to quickly make his way back to the circle with the blue just eating at him. I don't think that he knows he dropped his DMR for a double-barreled shotgun either there. So I'm a little bit worried for this team as they move forward, because I was really liking this one before, but after they lose a player for free as well as a long-range capability going into this kind of zone, they're going to need to shoot their way into this one. Look at the sight lines here. They have high ground, but they're not going to be able to use it as well now after losing a player and a DMR player. Yeah, terrible to see that. Oh, the double barrel picked probably with no ammo, so it's just a worthless gun on someone's back. Hopefully he does have an extra scope or something that he can contribute from this high ground, but tough break right there for Ohio State. All that being said, it's looking a lot like most teams have already found spots inside of the zone here to call in. Johnson from UCF roll trying to get shots off to the north towards ULL. Can't quite find the knock. They're mostly just saying, hey, I think that we were better than you in shooting. We knock off your helm without getting our own knocked off, and that's a win in our books. This is so nice to see from UCF, because previously they've been known as a rotation team where simply they've moved around, played circle, played for those placement points. But as the scoring scale has shifted and put just so much value on kills, they've become more active and much better shooters for it, quite honestly. That's definitely good to see. The meta is just going to shift. And honestly, in a zone like this is center zone right now. This is unplayable. Actually, there is a shed over here that is empty right now that I'm a little bit surprised to see is empty going into phase 4. But most of this is going to require just amazing shots as you punish players that make the move too early. Now, is West Texas one of those teams, though, as they're making a move, trying to find a spot inside center zone? A couple of these pylons are open, but as they continue further east, I don't know if they're going to find an open spot if they go too far here.
We do see him blindly flying through here, coming up on ULL, and flies ULL. Car gets blown up in an easy 3K there for So Bored.
And they came all the way here from the southwest side of the zone as well. They didn't stop for anything in the middle. They weren't aware of the of how playable the shed was, and so they overcommitted to a rotate to the east side. Were punished heavily for it there, even going so far as to put 3 players instead of a half HP Dacia. Very, very risky play, and they were not rewarded for it.
We do see Mississippi State here looking down on LSU, trying to use those sight lines to see if they can get a knock and make their way in. As Circle moves, going to take most of this hill out. So unless they want to make a car dive, they might need to take a few shots, see if they can't open themselves up a little hole, push into.
Phase 5 going to be very, very important here. We have 2 teams essentially contesting the southern edge of the zone. If it stays up here, they're going to be insanely, but no, it's not going to be staying up here to the south. It's going to be shifting between these 2 roads here, and this is about as much like playable terrain as you could force out. All this in the middle, unplayable. On the southwest side, almost unplayable as well. And almost every single team's current hold has now been forced out of play by the zone. Specifically, the east, the north, and the southeastern sides are going to be pushed out of play. But it looks like Clovis, UNCC Esports, oh, they're able to find this shed, and this is centralized. This is potentially game-winning. I love this play from P. Lewis and his team.
What a great move from Charlotte here to be able to find that shack. It's been open this whole time, and finally someone was able to make a move for it.
Meanwhile, FSU trying to make their own play on a couple of compounds they're still in. They do get the initial knock, but they have had some of the wind blown out of their sails. They need to make this play happen right now. Look at that ridge line up top. There's people skylining. There's people waiting for these kills. They need to rush in right away. And it looks like Lucy Goosey has their number. He knows what he's got to do to take this compound. After gunning down a Reedster, there's only 1 player left. Captivate from the University of Tennessee.
What a smooth move there to get the flush out of the car and quickly get in it to stop it from rolling through. But this Molly keeps him pinned in a corner. And quickly flushed by Lucy Goosey.
Even checking in a couple of more frags just for good measure there. Don't kill your teammates there, but a great play from MSU. Surprised they were not punished from some of our high ground teams. Oh, the reason for that is because they're too busy fighting each other. Dearth and Coca-Cola taken down here, and T-Chabs, the only player alive who's forced to prone within vision of FSU. And look at this. I don't think his grass is loading in for them.
It might be out of render range here, and so he's just holding,
definitely
waiting to see if someone looks, just takes that peek up the hill to see if they see the man laying behind a rock trying to hide.
Let's do some bad news bears. Florida State definitely having an opportunity for a free kill there, but more importantly, it's Mississippi State that now have claimed the high ground. They can get a little bit of work done, but with only like 30 seconds left before they're forced off of it, they're not going to be able to get much of anything done as they're now forced into what appears to be a straight up kill zone. Off to the north inside center zone, though. Oh, we got UNCCP Lewis, who's making a play for the Rocks, caught out in the open by UCF Gold. Gunning him down, Johnson will, and now we were just praising and saying how good the spot was. They're going to get punished for trying to take too much ground, losing P. Lewis and almost losing Storm DMD.
Stretching that late does leave you open to that quick collapse. UCF had to make the move off their shack to the east, and they quickly came and took over and took P. Lewis out for it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 smoke grenades being used here by UCF Gold. A little bit worrisome. They do have some going into the end game, but they're going to want some more. You know, as the next phase pops, they will be inside, so as long as they can hold on, they're going to be fine. Meanwhile, MSU barely able to stick around here as the next one is popped. More smokes being popped here, but it looks like Prodigal Knight was not able to survive the onslaught coming in from all the other teams that have spotted this. And with Lucy Goosey coming in from the west, it's looking like he's ready to end this fight here and now.
MSU just got stuck at the top of the hill with Florida State and LSU both looking up at them, and just not enough cover for them to be able to survive through it.
I'm wondering what Mixer's gonna go up and do with this. Oh, what do with this UAZ? Once you start really rocking up these vehicles, you know, a couple of UAZs, a couple of Daces, you can really start to just kind of like make your own cover at that point. And while this hillside is usually devoid of any cover, if you can like, you know, supplement some of these rocks with the UAZ with the Dace, you could be fine. Look at this with JTNT putting up a fight here. Your Wi-Fi and Lucy Goosey spawning around, but looking like Misker wants to end this fight right on now. The wrong play there. Twiggy Smalls, they're able to finish off the kill from outside the UAZ window, but as they have gotten out their vehicle, they're now realizing, hey, there isn't much cover on this hilltop, is there?
They just ran into the same problem that Mississippi State did. After pushing them, they got stuck to LSU, and LSU quickly finishes one and gets a knock on a second.
They might have overcommitted for this push. They got their adrenaline up from the previous comment push, saying, yeah, we can just push anyone. We'll kill anyone who gets in our way. And now Louisiana State, oh my god, yeah. Lil Penguin looks like he has something to say about that as he just snaps toward Cajun Ricky Bobby, blowing his head off, and then just going right back up. Look at FSU like nothing just happened.
This is freaking 2-tap, and now they get the firing squad on FSU coming down this hill.
Oh man, and the most heartbreaking thing is that FSU, they really didn't have to be here. This didn't have to happen, but they were getting a little bit too kill hungry. They're still in zone though, and looking at Wi-Fi, they still have a lot of smokes left. So if they have perfect smoke play and perfect coordination, and honestly get lucky on these little jump peaks, they could get out of this one alive, but the odds are not in their favor.
Good, so strong look. They're looking back now, trying to take a few shots. Seeing who's the better shot here, and Lil Penguin just takes him down.
Mark 14 is a strong gun, by the way. By the way, while all this has been going on, look at this. It's your boy Twiggy hiding out on the edge of the zone. This rock is soon to be pushed out. And no, Lil Penguin is actually going to be able to spot him with a Mark 14. And that rock is in play right now, but not for too much longer. And right now, with the DMR at this range, oh man, that's a weird bug right there. This is the guy to look at, although a nice headshot coming in from afar. Maybe a next shot with a bolt action, bring him around to 6 HP. Will force him back out as Twiggy finding himself the smallest bit of cover I have seen in my life.
He just holds and hides here as he's been shot across by the two big squads remaining.
Oh, wait, what's going on over here? Looks like Loosey Goosey. Oh, he just took out this most centralized team. If you had taken a screenshot at Phase 3 and told me who was going to win this game, I was going to say UNCC. Loosey Goosey taking them down is huge. And he's going to be continuing to try to close the gap, but oh, he's going to be taken down by Garudin, and look at how far this team is spread. It's going to be a huge commitment to get this res. Oh, man.
Did get found.
It's a 1v1, and look at this! Butterby Nasty even getting the follow-up on the car. And look, he's going to be able to go all the way back around to this flank. He's ready to shoot these guys in the back. Oh, they're just over the ridge.
They know exactly where they are, and that only one of them is still up right now. It's coming soon, but he's looking for him out here.
Oh, spotting on the jump. He barely gets up, and oh man, it's Wi-Fi barely staying alive here. But a car coming in from the right by Butter might be the end of It's Your Wi-Fi. He still wants to get his res, or his down teammate res. Both him getting crashed on the right side. I don't know how possible that is. More smokes utility coming in from the front. No frags left. But look at this. Quick play from Butterby Nasty is going to end the game. Louisiana State ending it with a 10-kill victory.
LSU doing what we knew them to do. Just simply dominate the lobby. They made great rotations, and they held the spots where they needed to be, and that's what really won them this game here.
Yeah, and the really cool thing about that game was there were a few teams that had like really good spots going into Phase 4, but as you went into Phase 5, everyone's just like, oh my god, what is there left to play? A couple of teams' response to that was, okay, let's just play the edge, figure out if we can maybe like sneak under the noses of some of these strong points. And then some teams like FSU, like we saw, were just like, let's just kill them all. And that didn't work incredibly well. They were able to get the team kill that they wanted to, and they did walk away with 6 kills. And as you said earlier, this is quite a kill-heavy format. 6 kills, 6 points is above the average a team will get in the game. But that particular play, going that aggro at that particular juncture, and going where they did, where there was almost no cover, was not the play to end that game late. Like I said before, though, the most surprising thing was, oh man, what was the team name? UNCC, I think it was, going down so early. I think that is partially due to P. Lewis overextending there earlier in that game, though.
Yeah, P. Lewis did have the big first game where he pulled out 8 kills in game number 1, but game number 2, he just got caught by the UCF surprise rotation, it looked like, and losing him was a big detriment to the team right there.
And that's actually another important thing to note as well. We saw at some point, like, you looked away, then you looked back, and there's only like 3 teams left. And one of them, Butterby Nasty, Little Penguin, Beast, and Garden, they're like, all right, we got a couple of cars. We have killed almost everyone who came in from the edge of the zone. Why don't we just drive around and kill them all? And then they did, and it worked.
At that point, they had numbers and a lot of information because they'd held the spot so long. They knew where teams were in general. And watching the kill feed, they could kind of just discern where they needed to be, and they quickly rotated around and suffocated what was left of FSU hiding on that ridge.
Right place, right time is usually something you reserve for like very, very like small, minute like positional play. You don't normally reserve that phrase for like someone just driving around with a car and like shooting people from out the window, but it definitely was a play style that worked for Louisiana there. All right, we're going to be going to a quick break. When we come back, game 3 out of 3 today. I'm going back to Erangel once again. We're coming to you guys, me and T-Murph217. We'll see you then.
See.
Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 3 here at Collegiate PUBG Week 1. It's going to be the last game of the week. I'm Little Fuzzy Steel, and I am joined by T-Murph. What have we been seeing so far, T-Murph? What's your impression on the first 6 games, both in scores and just your observations?
Strength of LSU has to be the story of this lobby so far. You've just seen really strong rotations out of them. They did fall off a little bit when they got hot dropped in Pachinki. But other than that, they've looked very, very, very strong. Definitely a team to contend with as we move through the season.
Do you think that the hot drop in Pachinki was like, do you think that they knew that LSU dropped there? And that was
I don't
maybe
think it
part
was
of-
intentional, just because this is the first time that we've played with these lobbies. Granted, Louisiana State does have that strong ego, let's put it that way,
Oh,
where
boy.
you know they're going to be the team that goes for the center of the map. Previously, the best team, hypothetically, has always dropped for Pachinki. It used to be UTSA, a few other teams prior to that.
Oh, man.
But you always know that the best team seeds it.
If I was
them.
playing in this lobby and I knew a team had that mentality, oh, I would play so hard to shove it back where it came from. Like, oh my god. Like Pachinki is a pretty good drop spot. But if someone else dropped there because they thought they were better than everywhere else, I'd be like, oh, no. I don't care what we're doing. We're dropping Pachinki now. All right, let's go ahead and go into game 3 here. So we already see Flight Plan, the candy cane of destiny. as some call it, as I call it. Starting here from the south, heading up towards Zarki, so almost the exact same as you saw in Game 1. We didn't see any teams go melee in either of the 2 games, if I'm not mistaken, and it's not going to change. Oh! Oh! I hope
so we get a little reaction drop here out of 2 different teams here.
I mean, hey, reaction drops from melee are very, very strong. It's very, very consistent and strong loot, and especially after what we saw go on in this area, in Game 2, I know for a fact that there are teams asking themselves, where do we go that isn't going to instantly kill us? And right now, if the teams are watching these back, military base is that place. It's free loot.
Crazy to see that after knowing it and having generally the same plane as Game 1 that no one would drop for it. But we do see a contest on a UAS right here.
This is the kind of thing I see a lot whenever there's teams that are unsure or aren't very confident on what is open and what is not. Farm. You go farm. No one goes farm. It's free loot. You get yourself a compound, you get yourself a car, and then you leave. The problem, if everyone does that, if we have like 5 teams do that, then it gets a little bit less free. And it looks like we actually even have UNCC that are forced to get themselves in a boat and get out of town right away. There's only 2 players in here. Where is P. Lewis? He's on the north side of farm.
See him securing US, and he did get farm, but it looks like he's going to be rolling on, trying to find something more central to loot, which, considering the circle was so off plane path, I very much like this move for him.
That's a good point, actually. He's going to be able to be one of the first teams to react to this. Although, looking around, so the farm is awkward. There's a few teams that have partially divvied up some loot here, but what is a little bit more straight-up combat-oriented is what is going on here in South George, as we have UTK. Oh, that's in the same building. It was like Call Me Duck, rushing all the way up the staircase and gunning down Assassin with a Tommy gun.
That was a bold play, especially considering that he had a scar up there on the roof. But he's able to get a quick kill out of it. They're still surrounding position for both teams, are able to make a move one way or the other if they want to.
This is going to be down.
MTC's just clumped.
This is going to be down to the individual play from UTK. They are so split right now that there's almost no hope of any player going down. They're going to get rezzed. However, if they can use how split they are to their advantage and sort of bite at them, nip at them from all sides while not getting knocked themselves, that could be enough to get themselves a kill here, a kill there. Then all of a sudden they're 3v2. That could be a game-winning play for University of Tennessee, but it's going to put a lot of stress on every individual player here.
The one big advantage they have is they are closer to roads, so they do have more car access than Mississippi State does right here, depending on if they can watch these moves between houses, really.
Decent kit so far for all of our players. They definitely want to stay a little bit longer. If they're going to go for these car plays, they're going to want at least a couple of meds. So, like you were saying, though, Ridester is right across the road from this UAZ. So if they're looking to disengage here, then the step 1 is claiming this UAZ, and then the other 2 players getting out of dodge. They can be picked up safely, which at this point is really what it's looking like, at least from the movement that we're seeing from Captivate. He's looting eastward away from front 6, away from those prios that we see JT&T and Thunder in. And if he keeps going this way, which I think I prefer this, he's going to be going and disengaging entirely.
I do think this is the right move, but Mississippi State is known to be an aggressive team, so don't be surprised if you see them push onto 1, knowing that they have the advantage.
Oh my god. Wait, look at the zone. Wait, I didn't even see this. We have 2 teams inside Zarki right now. This is a miracle. It's a Christmas miracle.
And there's only one esports spawn right here, which is going with WPI out of here. Ohio State might be stuck. There were 2 cars here. Both of them are gone now.
Let's look around.
Ohio State might be on a run.
That one's on fire. That one isn't going to move, and it hasn't for a very long time. I don't see any spawns. I don't see any spawns, Team Murph.
I believe there's an esports boat somewhere off the back there.
Oh,
so they might...
good. Oh, good. I mean, if they go right here, it'll almost get them in.
I do see potential. It's the top side of circle.
Wee, they should go all the way over. Oh man, that's so bad. I mean, okay, at the very least, True and the rest of WPI did pull up on a compound here for more loot. They did get the north side of Zarki, which it did happen to provide them, you know, with an extra car spawn and the esports. They didn't get much loot. Meanwhile, I'm looking at Buckeye Gaming. Well, he's got a Uzi and no med. Oh god, okay, he's not kidded. But the rest of his team are looking pretty okay. We got SLR Scar here with a couple of meds. We got, oh my god, they're actually going for the boat. With M4 and a car 9. Their kit doesn't matter actually. They're getting their boat. They're gonna leave. They're actually going for the boat rotate, which this is something that you never want to have to go for at this stage of the game.
No, it's definitely going to leave you lacking, especially when, even when you get there, you're not going to have the vehicle for later circles. So very best you're catching edge of circle here. Nothing strong.
Okay, so we got 3 players. Their fourth, He's got violence on the mind right now, and look at how he's playing. He knows this place is occupied. He just went off to take a 1v4 because he wants to.
This is bold, but also I understand this more than running the whole way there.
I mean, I understand this less than just going for the boat with the rest of your team. He's actually getting spotted by the left team on the left, and he's quickly getting flanked on every single side, being forced into the building here. Uzi in hand, no first aid kit. He needs to make a play. And it's not gonna happen. That is the freest kill that Coca-Cola has ever had in his life.
That was absolutely not the play to make. Quick kill picked up there for WPI.
The rest of his team
And
rotating
the boat sails on. Yeah.
The boat sails on. That feels like a saying that I should use. The boat sails on.
I actually have that motivational poster that I just made up.
Send it to me. I'll pay for that. All right, looking around. So while we did have a couple of scuffles here in the early game, actually. Wait, there's still one going on. They didn't disengage. They're actually taking this fight. And MSU, after going and getting knocked, is going to result in a 2v3 as it looks like we lost one while we were away. Riser does not spot Prodigal Knight through the smoke. Fluffy Will looking for some shots here on Thunder, landing a nice SKS headshot. Forcing Thunder back into cover, but in the meantime, while they're trading shots and not getting knocks, the previous knock on to Call Me Duck will be rezzed by Prodigal Knight, and JT&T is going to close the gap a little bit, trying to find an off angle. And with this SLR, I think the SLR does 81 damage on a headshot to a level 2 helmet. If these guys aren't full HP, that's going to one-shot them.
After holding for so long, too, now the blue is pushing at them, and it's going to be a fight to the death here, apparently. And for us.
Oh, JT&T found outside by Rider. This could be the break that UTK needs to maybe make something out of this. Rider getting suppressed to hell and back inside, but Fluffy Whale wrapping all the way back around, Vector in hand, trying to see if he can confirm this. Call Me Duck wrapped around to the left, though, trying to find a flank, but some suppression from UTK will force them back out. Rider will be able to confirm that kill. MSU now have to ask the question, do we go all in? And Thunder Blitz, the answer for him is yes.
MSU is definitely known as an all-in type team, and they're looking for it right here. You see the head here?
Oh, landing 2 shots there. And wait, Fluffy Whale. Okay, he might not be able... Okay, no, he barely does. 2 HP left with the frag coming in. Oh, that's going to be a follow-up and a half there. The trade coming out for Thunder as the knocks come up from Rider. You're saying that MSU is an all-in team, but without getting those reses and favoring the punches more than anything else, it's looking like University of Tennessee can keep up with the fastest of them. And now this is going to turn into 1v1. Barrel in hand at close range, and with no cover, Prodigal Knight getting caught out. He will even be able to get Fluffy Will back up, turning this 3-4 on its head in favor of UTK.
Great shots there by Reedster coming out, able to take down 3 of them as the last man up. He did get to isolate it off that wall and play just single fights, one-on-one against all of them. Quickly able to outshoot, and they've got the US there to make their way to circle.
Which they have to go all the way to the East Coast. It's going to be a hell of a rotate, and they're going to need to make it now. Meanwhile, UNCC, I constantly see them in positions that I think, yes, they are very good, but you're a solo, but you're alone, or they're just splitting a little bit too much. Sadly, Overrated isn't splitting. His friends are all just dead, and that's going to make this fight against Indiana University that much harder, as it looks like JK not able to get the res, as they all fall back to their compound. Another crash coming from the south, though. Are they ready to handle this?
Looks like Overrated also has no meds here, so he's trying to get out of Dodge as fast as possible.
Oh, yeah. And Ken Boyd spotting him out, saying, all right, there's no one to the north. we have to ask ourselves, do we take the northern side of this compound, or do we continue on this push? They have not overcommitted anything, but the longer they stay here, look at all these cars driving by. All it takes is for one of them to pull up, and all of a sudden, UCF Gold is getting shot in the back and the front at the same time. Span Cargo trying to close the gap. He will get shot in the side by Cakester, man. Rubik's Cube getting the knock on the Ken Boy will put this push almost dead in the water before it even starts, as all this momentum is going to have to be shifted back here toward the res, as Nomad and Ox playing in the back, making sure that they have players going for the res and covering. But these frags, is sooner or later, one of them is going to be in range, it's looking like. Although some sick jukes there from Nomad might keep them back for now.
The nice part here is that though the knock came down, it was a knock on someone outside the house, and they don't really want to give their cover just yet. JNOP is looking to play bushes on the edge of the hill sneakily, but they don't want to give up their hard cover just yet.
Definitely makes a lot of sense here. Molotovs are being used. They might have, they definitely know that Span Cargo is here. The grenade's not quite on point. Might need him. Oh, as they say that though, one landing very close to Span, but it wasn't cooked. So he's actually going to be able to wrap all the way back around to the other side of the box, behind cover there. And now, as JK realizes that push isn't coming in, he just needs to take up his gun and start shooting. Still though, UCFG holding strong. It looks like Nomad might try and make a play here, as he's going to have to wrap all the way here to the east side, actually get up here. Definitely wants to make this play sooner than later. He's going to be offline for quite a while.
They're looking just surround them and slowly choke them out, but Indiana's holding all the angles they're trying to.
Nice knock there from Ken Boy as we look inside. It's looking like a Toxic or someone else might have to go for this, but as the Nomad pointing inside, Toxic marker. And look at these wiggles from Nomad. Toxic sees that wiggle for, oh god. he sees that wiggle for a sec. And what's something to do with the Span Cargo frag grenade. Yeah, that's how you chuck him, Span San. And with his teammates already online to help him going right on in. Oh, and holding the stairwell early on. It almost caught Span off guard. But that last knock is all that was required to take Indiana University off of the playing board. And as we go into phase 3, we're going to be seeing if this compound was worth bleeding and putting so much effort for.
So the reason I'll argue that it is there's a few hills just north of there that are short of the road that are still strong to play. So if someone doesn't take that up, or if you can keep the shots pressure on to keep that area carved out for you, as we see TK make their rotate and finally make it into circle from George Poole.
Didn't actually note this before, but Reed Dester, I believe that's how you say that name. Actually, I have no idea, but I think
Reedster.
So. Reedster.
Mm-hmm.
He has 4 of the kills here for his team. So great job there, making sure that they're making a very, very conservative rotates, because after rotating across, let's count kilometers here. 1, 2, 3, 4 kilometers cross map. They don't really have a good idea of what's going on inside zone. But, oh, it's looking like UNCC constantly playing center and fighting for it as well. Paradox wants this combat as well, but you know who else wants it? It's the full 4-man from LSU who are crashing it hard. One knock already, but oh man, Lil Penguin coming in for the flank on the side, taking him down. There is a solo inside though, and last time I saw Paradox, he did a real nice job as a solo, and his teammates, they're coming on by to help. They are contesting this, and Paradox is 3 expert from the SLR. Ooh, not quite enough. And playing these outside walls, it is tearing them apart. WPI losing 2 and getting shot from the right flank. Paradox and Gideon cannot hold this ground. Honestly, neither team can though. LSU pushing on in, gunning down Beast. Paradox not online, and it was Paradox to begin with, and it'll be Paradox to end, as incredible aggression from HD Beast will end this fight in a very, very aggressive manner. Still though, they did lose half their team in the process.
Norwich from next door was able to pick off Little Penguin, and a few shots from them were able to just pick the scraps around that fight. I don't think LSU lost anyone to the crashing team. They lost it to the people from around.
That's actually really impressive from the third parties. It can be really hard to shoot people that are moving around in a fight that chaotic, and they aren't worried about, they aren't trying to peek you. Very, very impressive there. However, I'm looking at the zone. I'm a little bit worried here for our edge teams. There's a lot of places the zone could go. A couple of these compounds along the road are quite strong, but if you have to leave them, this is what you're working with here. or this. I don't see much playable in these buildings, in these zones here, besides a couple of pylons and a single compound. So I'm really hoping for these teams' sake, for LSU's sake, although they don't need my hope, that the zone centers towards these current strong points.
I would like to point that Ohio State, after taking that vote, has made it to the north apartments of Yesnaya. They're relatively central circle after all that traveling.
And they didn't lose anyone either. Wait, well, besides Coca-Cola.
Other than the one that went on the push.
Yeah. The one who will not be named. But it's very, very obviously who it is. Still, though, Phase 4 will pop. And that fight, that Beast and Garden got into earlier, it's looking like they will be rewarded for that as the zone goes on to the east. Now, the Yesnaya teams are going to be forced off to the east side, and it's looking like Major Blockhead and the rest of Cincinnati Red are going to be ready to receive all these Yaz teams, though Blockhead himself seeing a couple of shots in his relatively cemented forehead.
Trying to play gatekeeper here on the edge of the city makes this compound very strong. They got the 2-2 split going on between EB and the building to the west.
Yeah, the mansion police station is what I know it as, but who knows what they're supposed to be nowadays. Still, though, I believe that this is still in zone here for Buckeye Gaming, so they don't actually need to make a play through Yesnaya. I think they're going to be spending a lot of phases 4 and 5 to figure out exactly what their options are, what resources they have. Is there a vehicle they can nick somewhere? Where is everyone at before they go all in here? And it's looking like a lot of teams kind of have a similar choice to make. There are still 2 teams that do not have a clear decision. We even have off the east your Wi-Fi and co coming in. But those 2 teams are going to be the University of Tennessee, after that horrifying fight in Georgia Bowl coming to the north, and now entering the Yesnaya fields, then off to the far west. Original loser and those of his boys from West Texas A&M University. So they have a vehicle coming in from their rear, but we've seen before already in this series alone how bad it can be if you fit all 4 players in the same car. And they're going to be going for it. We might see them all get taken down at once if they make the wrong call.
Looks like they're trying to drive edge and stay away, hopefully, from this ULL squad holding these little houses in the field.
I think they hear these shots. They know they need to give it a wide berth. Also, what trees are real and fake. But playing on top of the buildings here, it's going to be real easy to get shots on our rotating Texans here. And as they actually spin out, the wheel has been blown out. The zone behind them, they're actually running toward the zone, trying to get behind a ridge line. This is only going to be in for a few more seconds, though.
I think that spin out made them have to stay there, but now they're all in horrible places and out of circle as it goes.
Oh man, this is real unfortunate. And this is phase 4 going into phase 5. Blue side Ain does not get that first hit kit off. Vitamin, alright, I'm wrong, but he might get shot to death either way. Anxiety Bite's going down. Yeah, Ain going down as well there. And with the smokes now getting to Vitamin, I think this is less for the resin of Vitamin and more so that original loser can actually get out of this one alive.
Trying to just travel to the smoke train here, but ULL is in circle and has sight lines. It's going to be a very tough move here for West Texas.
Pump action shotgun, SKS as the loadout of choice for original loser. Teammates all dead or dying. Zone's going to take him down soon. As we go into phase 5, he is going to be figuring out exactly how much damage the blue does to him, if it even makes it, man. ULL, they're just not letting up. The zone takes blue down. All right. Phase 5. Once again, hugging Yesnaya. Buckeye Gaming planning a UAZ, trying to make a play. What is even left to hold, though? Yesnaya's not in. Oh, there's a combo they found. They haven't gotten shot from it yet. It looks like the Fluffy Whale was trying to make a run for it, but Buckeye Gaming Collective able to sneak it out from just under their nose. Great play there from Buckeye Gaming.
The power of cars right here is going. UTK had been making that slow move down the hill for so long, and then the car just comes through and gets that last house in the field. Such a tough move here for UTK.
Oh, but Fluffy Whale popping to smokes early before the zone begins to shrink. They're saying, all right, we have to take that compound. There's nothing else we can do. And some nice shots from Fluffy Whale will begin that process. He's got a Vector on his back as well. If he closes the gap, he is going to be a real force to contend with here. More shots there. Bringing one player down to low HP. He's getting a great job. Now they're supposed to use the Vector to get even scarier. We also do have Reitzer with the frags in hand, ready to punish people playing us in the building. It might take down someone. Nah, door on the wrong side. Fourth Will, though, doing a wonderful job playing these smokes. When I'm ready to spray them out. Which smoker you're at, doesn't matter. I'll find you sooner or later. Oh, but the Vector almost taking Krop down. Oh, man, Fluffy, he's on fire. Bringing so many players down to so low, and now we have T-Chabs living out of the building. He's the only player left after Reeds are down Kvop. Now it looks like Fluffy has no idea that T-Chabs is here.
Oh, the sneaky player is trying to wait for the smoke to go away. But Reeds, I think, senses something. Laid down for a second, but now he's looking to make the move inside.
Going for the flush. Does T-Chabs even pull the trigger? Okay, yeah, he looks like he might want to. You gotta remember, proning and noise associated with proning is the loudest thing in the game that you can make, or at least it used to before vaulting and whatnot happened. It's very, very loud to move around while prone or enter the prone position. That being said, frag coming on in right on the head of Reedster. Fluffy brought quite low as well, and now Fluffy saying, do I get the res? He needs to respect the chance of a second grenade, so he leaves the building. Now T-Chabs the 1v1. Whale not quite landing what he needs to. He's already at low HP. Reeds are getting flushed as well. Can Fluffy Whale hold on? No. And it's going to be as a result of a third party coming in from, I believe, that was, yeah, there's Pulsify. There's someone else from UC of A able to take that kill. And at the end of the day, it's going to be Buckeye Gaming holding the compound, but at what cost?
At what cost? Everyone except for one. Wow.
And while all that was going on, the south side was lighting up quite a bit. Looks like FSU with one player left alive, but a very, very wide split will result in Span Cargo having no backup, and that knock. Twiggy gets it, secures the kill, and the rest of UCFG have nothing to do other than to sit there and watch and do what they can to hold on to the rest of the team that are still alive.
Yeah, if you're trying to make a push, but there's not a whole left on the south side of this road here. And there's two teams fighting for whatever it is. Just this open ground here that University of Cincinnati has a great look at.
University of Cincinnati is also the only four-man left. Everyone else is here playing wingman. Everyone else is here playing duos. Well, they're cheating. They brought their whole squad in. I don't like the odds for the rest of the lobby. Also important to note, they're centralized in some of the best buildings in the game with DMRs in center zone. How do they lose this?
We're just going to need to see a few big picks out of teams. They are split into 2-2, so if you can pick one and push, that is the only way I see UC getting taken down here, really.
Yeah, if I'm playing this lobby, I'm saying, okay, there's a lot of fire being put out from this compound. I have to just wait and hope the zone leaves it. And in that period of time, you have to also then hope, okay, and figure out what is left to play. And right now, the answer to that question is almost nothing. LSU have a very, very small ridge to play, but as we're seeing right now from T-Chabs, he's got nothing. He's got hay. And last time I checked, well, hay does stop bullets in this game, but not for very long.
You see one from FSU get picked off, so there's still one-on-one on this side of the street.
Oh, that's cheating. It's not a one-on-one.
You see finding another, picking another off at the top of that building.
Oh, man. All right, I appreciate the play from Johnson. He's got very few meds. He's trying to crack the garage. Maybe UC of A can cover him if he makes his way into these garages, but they're not even going to let him. An SLR spray on a moving buggy was the weapon of choice here for Pulsify, and he even made it work with an 8x. 10 kills left, still 4 potential they can get in this lobby.
Pulsify is taking shots right now. Till he catches one.
He started dancing, and he got his head shot. Garden does not appreciate Pulsify thinking this game's over, and he's landing shot after shot. Major blockade and Pulsify being brought to one shot by Garden. And I gotta say, Murph, if there was one team that I thought could maybe turn this game on its head that's still in it, it's LSU.
Oh, of course. With 4 shooters like they have on their team, it's tough to count them out at any point. Once this ridge leaves off this next circle, it will be very, very difficult for them.
Yeah, and like, look at this. It's just hugging these buildings. What is left to play? What can you do? There's nothing here. Like, this small ridge line in the south is still in. I don't think the north bit is. They're going to make sure that UAZ is with them. Yeah, HDB is making sure that it is in play as they go into phase 7. But meanwhile, on the west, they've been very quiet this game. A single kill. It's Morningside PUBG MSC who's trying to sneak into the west side of the zone. They might be able to go over here. Major Blockhead and Pulsify have been focusing heavily to their south and eastern sides here. They've entirely forgotten about the rest of Yaz.
They did sneak their way in. However, after seeing the two from LSU on that ridge, they know it's just a small threat coming from the city based off the number of people left alive.
No, man. Blockhead's watching this direction, but I don't think he knows that they're already on the wall. Now, Doctor, come on. He's actually going, you know, from prone, from standing, and he's also prone moving, which I said this before. This is much louder than crouch walking. Much, much, much louder. He's going to want to be careful as he approaches this building because he might get spotted based on that audio alone.
Luckily, I think those shots from LSU have kept Cincinnati off the roof now, so I don't think anyone will be able to take a clean peek down at that fence line,
yeah.
especially considering he's prone against it.
Dude, I want to see the damage from Garudin in this game. Like, he's like 1v2'd the roof boys. That's insane. Oh, actually, it's a slight misplay. If this dossier is usable, they should definitely keep it. It might come down to making a car for it or making a crash. And you always want more cars, if possible, in that scenario. So, oh, Pulsify. Leaving his compound, spawning out Doctor. But, oh, well, the other Doctor. Come on, bruh. Taking one down, trying to get some frags and smokes out. One to confirm the kill, one to help his teammate. Blockhead not in position to help out from this fight. And look at this! LSU using the fight as a distraction to close the gap. This is 2v2s happening right now. This is the only way that UC of A lose this game.
Looking for the nades outside the wall, but LSU already carrying a big split to them. Tough to lob one over the wall, but close enough to do damage.
Oh my god, and look, we're in phase 9. This is the end. This little patch, this little walk right here, this is phase 9 center zone. LSU don't even need to get any kills here. If they just hang on, then UCA have to walk into them.
Pulsify was able to crawl back, may get rezzed here even, so UC may go back to 4-man strength. As Morningside was able to get their res off on the wall.
Great plays from both teams. Everyone just factoring in, saying, all right, survival is a big factor. And that's going to be definitely helping Pulsify and Major Blockhead a little more as Dr. Kamandra loses his spray belt in the frag to confirm that kill. MSC going into the end game as a one-man.
H2 with a quick knock onto UC. 3 still up, but they're looking at him.
Doing a great job so far. The frags are not quite able to finish off Blockhead here. And Coldpoint now with... I get why they weren't as effective at trading fire now. They don't actually have any scopes on some of these players. Coldpoint using an iron sight SLR here. The frag barrage has so far stalled the res for Major Blockhead. I actually don't like Garudin and co using all this utility though. If they save these frags for the end game, when they're forced to like push in, they could be a lot more useful when they're using the 5 or 6 and not even securing the knock there.
Yeah, after getting that knock, the barrage of nades wasn't able to secure the kill, so it's still for naught, and essentially at this point.
Yeah, it's a little bit worrisome. Guardian still has 1 left, but Beast has none. Luckily, Beast still does have 6 smoke grenades, so if worse comes to worse and for some reason they lose this wall, he will be able to play the field behind him as long as he smokes properly. Also, you gotta remember, Dr. TikTok creeping in from the southwest side as phase 9 begins the game that makes shrink. Bye.
Pulsify held on that. Easy flush there as he clears the wall. So now it's 4-on-2. UC having to make the push here.
Ooh, I think that Ellis might have made a mistake. Alright, so theoretically, UCFA have to play this courtyard, but Guardian's going to be leaving the zone before UCFA have to leave the building. That being said, great shots from Beast. Takes 2 down. Guardian does go down as a result, though. And what we're left with is a 1v1 favoring HD Beast. Guardian, awkward position, but did exactly what he had to, turning this game into a 1v1. It was HD Beast favored by the zone. This might be the way that Louisiana wins this game. Oh, no frags.
Cowboy does still have to move out here. He's trying to smoke his way off the balcony. Probably make a jump down because with
Oh,
circle
that's
moving, I
not
think
good.
he's already
Oh, that's
left.
not good. Loses half his HP. And the smokes, they weren't thrown properly, and that was a simple small mistake like that. Just throwing your smokes a little bit too late and a little bit wrong. End the game in favor, once again, of Louisiana State. 13 kill victory right there, ending that game as a 2-man with HG Beast and Garudin.
Just a distraction from Morningside, being able to give LSU that wall there, change the game completely. Cincinnati looked like they had control for so long, and as soon as they were able to lose the wall, lose control of center circle, it's when the game went to LSU.
Yeah, absolutely. At one point or another, Pulsify and the rest of his team, they might have wanted to leave their compound and make some kind of play where it's like, all right, we need to kill one of these two teams so it'll get shot in the back later on. They ended up having to sort of split their resources when they went into phase 8 and 9. We saw Pulsify, for example, playing around the outside wall. He was used to take down Dr. TikTok. But while he was doing that, he lost half his team to HD Beast and the rest of LSU.
It was just very well played by LSU is what it ends up coming down to, because Cincinnati had to fight on two fronts, and LSU did exactly what they needed to get the frags and to get the win there at the end. The HDB's
Absolutely.
dropping 7 kills in this game, and Pulseflat dropping 8.
And
Wild numbers
their
again.
overall team kill counts are insane as well among the top two. Second place, they just had all the right terrain, all the right sight lines. They got the only buildings that were in play at the end there, for God's sake. And that's going to result in, let's do some quick counting here. 13 kills for second. I think that was 14 for first as well. So very, very top-heavy game 3 as we end out the night here at the Collegiate PUBG Esports Twitch. All right, so I had a great sponsored by GLL. So I hope you guys had a great time watching the games. I have been a little fuzzy seal. Murphy, got any closing remarks before we close off the stream?
Good for LSU. Good 2-win day. Hope to see some new lobbies coming up next week. Can't wait for it.
All right, and when can people expect to see these games going live?
On Thursday nights, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when we play.
Also got a new cast behind the Battlegrounds that I believe is still being planned. Make sure you guys keep an eye on the Collegiate PUBG Twitch channel. Give it a follow so you can see all the content and all the games when they go live. All right, that's been it from us today. We'll see you guys next week for some more Collegiate PUBG.